Hello everyone, this is Divya working as assistant professor in Triple department at St. Peter's Engineering College. So in the last classes we already discussed about what is meant by system and what is a control system and what are the classifications done in the control system, how many types of control systems are existing in nature, and also we derived the mathematical modeling of a control system. Those are nothing but to derive the mathematical modeling, we are considering the control systems as two types. Those are mechanical and electrical systems. In that mechanical also there exist two types, that is translational system and rotational system. And in the electrical system there exist only one systems. Those are as it is called as electrical control systems. So we derived all the mathematical modelings of these control systems with the help of a transfer function. So in this class I want to explain about what is a transfer function and what are the different considerations we will take in a transfer function. So let us I will share the PPT and I will explain the transfer function by using the slides there. So let us see the PPT here. So what is the title of the concept here? The transfer function and mathematical modeling, right? So here a transfer function is nothing but, all of you know that one, it is a ratio of Laplace transform of output signal to the Laplace transform of input signal. So here I want to discuss about the definition of a transfer function, why we are using a transfer function, and what is the representation of poles and zeros of a transfer function, and properties of a transfer function, and advantages and disadvantages by using the transfer function. Okay, so let us discuss about the transfer function. So first of all, what is meant by transfer function? The function which shows the relation between the input and output of a system is nothing but a transfer function, and it can be defined as, this is the ratio of Laplace transform of output signal to the Laplace transform of input signal. So here the output signal in a control system can be represented with the letter C of t. Why? Because in the first class only I represented the C of t is nothing but, that is the response given by the control system, and it can be also called as the control variable output that can be represented with C of t. And the input signal is represented with the reference input, that is R of t. That means this can be also called as the excitation given to a system. It may be also represented with X of t or A of t, whichever you want, but in general we will represent the reference input with R of t and the controlled output with C of t, so that we can say that the transfer function is the ratio of Laplace transform of C of t divided by ratio the Laplace transform of R of t, so that we can obtain the transfer function is equal to C of s by R of s. We have to represent the Laplace output transform with the capital letters, so we have to represent with capital C of s by capital R of s. That is our required transfer function. And coming to the next one, we have to represent poles and zeros of a transfer function. Up to now we don't know about poles and zeros, right? So I will explain about what is meant by pole and what is meant by zero. So once we are going into the transfer function concept, and here we can represent the transfer function which is nothing but t by f, or else we can represent it as g of s, also capital G of s, right? G of is also called as gain of the system or transfer function of the system. So here G of s is equal to, we can represent it as the output of the Laplace transform, the Laplace transform output divided by the Laplace transform input, right? If for example we are considering the output as v naught and the input as vi, then what is the transfer function equation? G of s is equal to v naught of s by vi of s, or else v in, which is showing here. This is overlapped here, don't mind. So in general we can say it as G of s is equal to, what is the output v naught representation in a system? That is nothing but C of t in terms of time domain. If you convert it into Laplace domain, what will it become? V naught of s will become C of s, right? And in the same way, V in of s becomes R of s. So here I represented C of s divided by R of s as the transfer function. That means it can be represented as G of s. So where C of S is the Laplace transform of the output and R of S is the Laplace transform of input. So I can say as here I am considering it as C of S and R of S both are polynomials in terms of S only. Why? Because here you are considering the Laplace transform. So the Laplace transform is nothing but that will be in terms of S only. So here we have to consider the C of S and R of S both should be in the polynomials of S only. So here I can represent the equation for G of S as, so here the G of S equation can be written as some constant k into S minus B1 into S minus B2 into S minus B3 and so on up to S minus Bm divided by S minus A1 into S minus A2 into S minus A3 and so on up to S minus An. So here in the numerator I considered B1, B2, B3 and so on Bm. But in the denominator, I considered A1, A2, A3 and so on An. So here I can take it as the poles are nothing but here when you are considering to consider the poles to obtain the definition of the poles, first focus on the denominator of the equation. That means you have to consider the equation which is obtained from the transfer function. The denominator of the transfer function equation you have to consider to obtain the poles. So here I can say easily as if the denominator of a transfer function is to become 0 and the values of S are nothing but A1, A2, A3 and so on An. That means if in place of S, if you substituted A1, then what will happen? The total denominator will become 0. Is it right? And if you substitute S is equal to A2 in place of S, then the total denominator becomes 0. In the same way, if you substituted A1 to An, any term in S, then what will happen? The denominator will become 0. If the denominator will become 0, the total transfer function will be converted into infinity value. Is it right? Anything by 0 is nothing but that is infinity. So if the denominator becomes 0, the transfer function will be becoming into infinity. So the values which tends the transfer function to infinity value, those values are called as poles. So here how we can define the poles? Poles of a transfer function are the values of the Laplace transform variables, that means S, that cause the transfer function to become infinity, to become infinite. So those values are called as poles. That means the values which can tends the transfer function to the value of infinity, those values are called as poles. That means here by seeing the equation, we can say S is equal to A1 or S equal to A2 or S equal to A3 or S equal to An. All these values tends the transfer function value to infinity. Why? Because if you substituted S equal to A1, this total denominator becomes 0. So if in a division the denominator becomes 0, what will happen to the ratio? The ratio will becomes infinity, right? So if this ratio is infinity, what it means? The transfer function value is infinity. So if the transfer function value is infinity, those values can be treated as the poles of the particular equation. That means poles of the given control system, or else we can say it as poles of the transfer function or poles of the gain system, that is G of S. So here I can say it as A1, A2, A3 are the poles of the transfer function. That means here what we are doing, we are equating the denominator to 0 to obtain the poles of the equation. Is it right? In the other way, I can say it as I am equating the denominator of a transfer function equation to obtain the poles values. So if I am equating the denominator, that means here the denominator is S minus A1 into S minus A2 into S minus A3 and so on into S minus An. So if I am equating that equation to 0, what will it becomes? S minus A1 is equal to 0. Then what will happen? S is equal to A1. In the same way, I can obtain different values for the S. So here these values are nothing but those are called as poles. So here in this equation, what are the poles? A1, A2, A3 and so on, An are the poles. So next we will go with the zeros. What is meant by zeros? So here we will discuss about zeros. So zeros are nothing but, here to consider the poles, we consider only denominator of the transfer function equation. But to obtain the zeros, you have to consider the numerator of the transfer function. So what is the numerator of the transfer function here? The numerator is nothing but k into s minus b1 into s minus b2 into s minus b3 and so on s minus bm, right? So here you have to consider the numerator of the transfer function. That means you have to consider this polynomial equation. So if you are going to equate this polynomial equation to 0, then you are going to obtain your zeros of the particular transfer function. That means if the transfer function value becomes 0, then those values which are tending the transfer function to 0 are nothing but zeros. So here s is equal to b1. If you substitute s is equal to b1 in the overall equation, the denominator becomes, the numerator becomes 0. Is it right? So here if I am substituting s is equal to 0 in the numerator, what will happen? b1 minus b1 is equal to 0. So the total numerator becomes 0. 0 by anything is nothing but that is 0. So here the transfer function value is becoming as 0. So what are the values tending the transfer function values to 0? Those values are nothing but zeros. So here by seeing the equation, you can say it as B1, B2, B3 and so on, Bm are the zeros of the particular transfer function equation. That means here B1, B2, B3 and so on, Bm are the zeros of the given control system. So here how I can obtain the zeros? By equating the numerator of the transfer function to 0, we can obtain the zeros of the equation. And how we can define the zeros? The zeros of a transfer function are the values of the Laplace transform variable, that means s, which can cause the transfer function to become 0 or which can lead the transfer function value to intended to 0. Those are nothing but zeros. So what is the difference between zeros and poles? To consider poles, what we have to consider? We have to equate the denominator of the transfer function to 0. To obtain the zeros, we have to equate the numerator of the transfer function to 0. So what are the zeros in the obtained transfer function here? Zeros are nothing but b1, b2, b3 and so on, bm, and poles are nothing but a1, a2, a3 and so on, an. If you obtain any polynomial equation like s square plus 2s plus 3, then you have to obtain the roots of that equation and you have to convert that equation into in this form. Then you can find the poles and zeros easily. Okay, so this is about poles and zeros. And next, coming to the properties of a transfer function. So every function will have some properties, right? So here what are the properties of a transfer function? So a transfer function can give the relation between input and output, right? And it can show what are the poles and zeros of a particular system. And it can define only for the linear time invariant system. In the last classes, I already explained about what is meant by linear time invariant system. A linear time invariant system is nothing but which can be satisfied both the linearity and time invariant properties. That system can be called as linear time invariant system. Okay, so in the last classes I already explained about those considerations, what are the properties it has to follow to become a linear time invariant system. And coming to the transfer function properties, it can transform its impulse response to 0 at initial condition, 0 initial conditions. And the transfer function can be determined from the system input output pair by taking the ratio of Laplace transform of output to the Laplace transform of input. So these are the properties of the transfer function. And next, coming to the advantages and disadvantages of the transfer function. First of all, I am discussing about the advantages of the transfer function. So it is a mathematical model that gives the gain of the given block or system. That means we can obtain the mathematical modeling for a given control system or for a given block diagram or for a given control system, and it can be integral and differential equations are converted to simple algebraic equations by using the transfer function. By using transfer function, what we are obtaining? We are obtaining the relation between output and input. That means we are converting the complex block diagrams or else the integral and differential equations into a simple algebraic equation, right? And coming to transfer function, it is any output for any given input can be known. That means in the algebraic form of equation, the output for any given input can be obtained by using the control system, and the differential equation can be obtained by replacement of variable s by d by dt, right? And the value of the transfer function is dependent on the parameter of the system, and it is independent on the input which is applied, right? The transfer function depends on the parameters which are included in the system, but it is not dependent on the input applied. So this is about the advantages of the transfer function. And coming to the disadvantages, so coming to the disadvantages, the transfer function is valid only for linear time invariant systems. That means we can obtain the transfer function only for the linear time invariant system. For the linear time invariant system, we are not able to determine the transfer function. And it does not take into account the initial conditions. That means we have to consider the initial conditions as 0. Otherwise, we are not able to determine the transfer function. And it is not give any idea about how to present the output in is processing. If the output is processing or not, we are not able to determine that one by using this transfer function. So these are the major disadvantages of the transfer function, but it is very easy to represent a complex system into a simple block diagram by using a transfer function. Okay, this is about the transfer function representation, transfer function definition, and what is meant by poles and zeros, how you can obtain the poles and zeros, and what are the properties of a transfer function, and what are the advantages and disadvantages by using the transfer function. Okay, thank you.